This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman. We end today's show with the tragic news that an Israeli airstrike in Gaza City Friday killed the oldest daughter and baby grandson of the prominent Palestinian poet and past Democracy Now! Guest Refaat Alareer, who himself was killed in an Israeli airstrike in December. Shema Refaat Alareer was killed Friday along with her husband and 2-month-old son. She was a renowned illustrator in Gaza. She recently wrote a message on Facebook addressed to her late father that said, quote, "I have a beautiful news for you. I wish I could convey it to you while you are in front of me. I present to you your first grandchild. Do you know, my father, that you've become a grandfather? This is your grandson, Abdurrahman, whom I have long imagined you carrying, but I never imagined that I would lose you early, even before you see him," she wrote. The website Electronic Intifada reports Shema Refaat Alareer and her family were killed while sheltering in the building of Global Communities, an international relief charity. For more, we're joined in Washington, D.C. by Jihad Abu Salim, a scholar and policy analyst from Gaza, executive director of the Jerusalem Fund. He was a friend of Refaat Alareer and is the editor of Light in Gaza, Writings Born of Fire. Jihad, welcome back to Democracy Now! We only have a few minutes, but can you talk about this latest news, the death of Refaat Alareer's eldest daughter, Shema?
Thank you for having me. On April 26, Israel bombed the building where Shema Refaat Alareer, her husband, Muhammad Abdulaziz Siyam, and their newborn baby, Abdurrahman, were sheltering in the Rimal neighborhood at the heart of Gaza City. This, of course, was a tragic loss for Refaat's family and friends and those who love him, including, of course, his wife and children. Shema was Refaat's eldest daughter. She was deeply beloved by her father, and it was a tragedy. And of course, this tragedy raises many critical questions as to why is the state of Israel and its military targeting the families and relatives of those it has already assassinated and murdered. And as I have previously discussed on your program, by targeting poets, academics, scholars, journalists, doctors, and institutional leaders, Israel aims to dismantle the societal structure of Gaza. Israel aims to make life unbearable and to make Gaza itself unlivable. But of course, you know, despite the bombing and the killing and the mass destruction and starvation, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians continue to live and persevere in the entire Gaza Strip, but specifically in Gaza City and the north. And Shema, Refaat's daughter, was one of those who decided to stay in the north and endure and not leave and not give Israel the Nakba that it sought to accomplish by attacking and destroying Gaza. So again, Israel seeks to eradicate, to destroy the social environment that fosters resistance and defiance. This environment produced figures like Refaat, who you know, people like him champion their dignity and national cause, and of course, Israel's aggressive actions and crimes know no bounds, extending even to children, mothers, fathers, and newborns.
I wanted to ask in this minute we have left, you talk about scholasticide. Euromed Human Rights Monitor published a report last month titled "Annihilation of Gaza Education, Israel Systematically Erasing the Entire Educational System." At least 95 academics, including dozens of professors like Refaat Alareer, have been killed by Israel. Jihad, your final comment.
I mean, this shows the scale of destruction of Gaza's educational sector. As you mentioned, the Israeli military killed more than 95 university professors, hundreds of teachers, and thousands of students in what has been a devastating assault on Palestinian education. All major universities in Gaza, including the Islamic University, Al-Azhar, Al-Isra, have been destroyed. And as students globally continue to rise and voice their protest protest against the genocide in Gaza, we must remember and mourn the enormous losses suffered by the educational community. And I call on the student movement to continue to honor Refaat's memory and legacy, and to pay tribute to the countless educators and students who have perished under Israel's bombs. This is the best way to honor our colleagues and those who have carried the message of education in Gaza and unfortunately have been murdered by Israel, and to continue carrying their message forward.
Jihad Abu Salim, again, our condolences on the death of your friend Refaat Alareer, and now the death of his oldest daughter, Shema Refaat Alareer, her 2-month-old baby boy, and her husband, just killed in an Israeli airstrike. Jihad Abu Salim is a scholar and policy analyst from Gaza. He's executive director of the Jerusalem Fund. That does it for our broadcast. To see the poem Refaat Alareer wrote, If I Must Die, go to democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks so much for joining us.